What's going on, guys? My name is Lieben and today I'm back with my Mazda 6, and what I'm going to be doing today is actually restoring the headlights. As we can see right here, they are a bit foggy and hazy. It is by patches, so it's not really bad, but you can still tell. Like right there, it's a little bit clear, but as we go right here, we can tell that it's a lot more foggier. And both of them are actually pretty much the same. This one right here, you can tell right there it's more foggier, and up here it's a little bit more lighter. So what I'm going to be trying out today is Turtle Wax Headlight Lens Restorer. Late last year, I went ahead and used actually 3M's Ultra Headlight Restorer. I believe that's what it was called. I went ahead and used it on my 350Z. I'll go ahead and link the video here if you guys want to go ahead and see that one. But I decided to go ahead and try this one out today. There's a few reasons why. One of them is that when I used the 3M one, it required a drill. This one right here shows that it's going to be all by hand, so you don't really need any tools besides what is included in the box. And another reason being was that the 3M one, when I ended up purchasing it with tax and all that, it came out to around $21, I believe. And then this one right here, I was able to find at the auto parts store for a little under $13. So I mean, it's not that big of a difference, but sometimes if you want to be on a budget, you're trying to find something that works, but that doesn't cost that much. And so I want to go ahead and give this a shot because I've actually heard pretty good things about this one as well. Okay, so if we go ahead and actually turn this over to its side, we can go ahead and see what this kit actually includes. So the first thing it says right here that it includes, it's actually a green and a blue pad. They're double-sided. Those are you're gonna be using to basically buff and kind of sand the lens of the headlights. And then you have the spray lubricant. That is what you're going to be using with the actual pads right there, so you don't scratch or damage the lens too much. And then actually there is also a lens clarifying compound. That is what you're going to be using. From what I understand, if the headlights aren't that bad, you can just use that compound, and if it clears it up, you can go ahead and seal them. And if not, then you go ahead and actually buff them, and then you use that at the end. And then the final step right here, it actually brings a base coat and lens sealing wipes. So that would be the final step. After you have both of the lens already polished, you go ahead and use that to kind of make sure they get sealed, and so that they don't end up hazing up pretty quickly. And now if we go ahead and flip the box onto the back side, this is where it actually tells you some of the instructions. So of course, the first step, it always says to go ahead and kind of wash and clean the headlights, to go ahead and remove any of like the surface dust and stuff like that. Basically just have a clean surface. And then after you've gone ahead and cleaned the surface, they recommend to go ahead and actually put tape around the headlights, so that when you're sanding or buffing the lens, you don't accidentally scratch or damage the paint on the car. After that, it says go ahead and use the clarifying compound with a cotton cloth, and depending how it finishes off, if you like how it the ending results, you can go ahead and skip to step 3, which is where you use the base coat wipe and then the sealing wipe. If you don't like how it turns out, that's when you actually go ahead and seal, or I mean, that's when you go ahead and actually buff the headlights with the little pads that they provide. And actually it's color coded, so that's pretty simple. It tells you which one to use first and then next until you're done with the process. And then after that, you still go ahead and use the polishing compound again to go ahead and kind of clean everything off and kind of give it a more smooth finish. And then you go ahead and again go with the base coat wipe and then the sealing wipe. So it's actually pretty straightforward, and like I said, the good thing about this one is that I won't need a drill like with the other kit that I bought. This is all going to be, it requires a little bit more elbow grease, but I mean, if you're ever in a tight pinch or you don't have those drill, it won't stop you from using this. You can still go ahead and kind of give your car a more new look, because if we see right here, yeah, it sometimes it doesn't look as good when the headlights are foggy. Obviously, everyone wants to have a clear headlight lens. It just kind of makes the front of the car just look better. Alright, so I have my cloth. I went ahead and sprayed it with some water and degreaser, and now I'll just basically go ahead and clean the lens. So now that the lenses are clean, or the headlights are clean, I will go ahead and wait a few minutes for any of the water that I may have not cleaned up to go ahead and dry off. And then after that, what I've gone ahead and done is, because I am inside my garage, because it's a bit cold outside, I went ahead and put a cardboard box, or yeah, like a cardboard box down, and also like a pan down to try to catch as much of the water or the lubricant that I'm gonna be using as possible, so it doesn't make a big mess down here. But actually the next step right now is just gonna be to go ahead and mask all around of the headlight. Now that both of the headlights have been taped over, now I can go ahead and actually use the rubbing compound and a cloth or a microfiber cloth to go ahead and clean a little bit more of the headlights. Two things that I want to go ahead and note. One is that this kit actually does not bring the tape, so I already had some painter's tape left over, so I just went ahead and used that. And it doesn't bring any kind of cloth. Like I said, the only things that it brought were the things that I listed below, which was the lubricant spray, the rubbing clarifying compound, the pads to actually go ahead and buff, and then two of the wipes, which was the base coat and the sealing wipe. And that is it. So everything else you will have to go ahead and provide. But now I'll go ahead and start actually using the rubbing compound on the headlight. So I've got to say, I'm honestly very surprised on how well that compound actually works. If we go ahead and zoom over here, we can see it's actually looking a lot clearer. All of that light haze, it actually went ahead and took it off. Honestly, if I was in a rush and I wanted the lights just to look a little bit clearer, I would not be mad at this outcome, because if we compare this one to the one I haven't even touched, yeah, there is quite a bit of difference. This one you can kind of just see kind of like that yellowing wanting to come. Like I said, it's not that bad, so you can't, it doesn't look like yellow, but you can just kind of see how it's not like very vibrant and very reflective, as opposed to this one that we just did. Now, of course, it doesn't take everything off. There is some like parts, like I said, that are a lot more hazier, that those I will have to go ahead and kind of use the pads to buff everything out, which I was going to do anyways. You can maybe, yeah, you can barely see it right there. But honestly, I am very impressed. Basically, this whole using the compound and buffing this with a microfiber towel, it took me about 15 minutes to go ahead and do it and cleaning it off. So if I wanted to do this for both sides, I mean, in half an hour, I'd have this car already done. But now I'm going to go ahead and move over to actually using the other spray with the pads to go ahead and give it even a better looking finish. Alright guys, and here we have how the lens looks right before going ahead and putting those wipes on. So as you guys can see, I went ahead and buffed it with the pads, and then after that I went ahead and polished it with the compound that it brings as well. And you can kind of barely see some scratches, but they're really hardly noticeable at all. I'm pretty sure once I go ahead and put the base coat and then the sealing wipes on there, they are both gonna go ahead and kind of cover up all the small little lines that it has on there. But if we go ahead and compare this one here to the one that I haven't even started, there is now a major difference here. There's a glare from the window, so that's making it a little bit difficult to see. But here in person, there is definitely a difference. If you can see, there's a line right there of haziness. It's hazy down there, but up there, but on the top side it's a little bit less. But even there, it's still a little discolored. And if we come over here, we can start to see that it's pretty much one same unified color now. A lot of the lines and haziness has gone away. Right here, I've noticed that I'm pretty sure there's some haziness on there, but I think it's from the inside, because I actually went ahead and kind of put some more attention to that spot when I was going ahead and buffing it with the pads, but it just didn't want to seem to get clear. So I'm guessing it's going to be from the inside of the lens, but honestly you can barely even tell it, so I don't mind at all. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is bring the other headlight to this level where I am right now with here, so then I can go ahead and open up the wipes and basically cover them with the base coat and the sealant. Alright guys, so here we have the second headlight. I went ahead and compounded and also polished it with the pads, so now it's in the same spot that the other one is at, and now it's ready to be base coat and sealed with the wipes. And if we go over here, we have both of them. So this one right here says that it's the base coat one, that's the one that goes on first. And then here we have the sealing wipes. So if we look over, these also have instructions as well. It says to go ahead and clean both of them again one last time before opening this pouch. Right here it says that it includes the plastic glove, so I'm guessing you're not supposed to use the glove during the whole process. You only use it for this one so that you have a clean glove. So I'll probably will go ahead and do that. I don't want to get the rag or the cloth too dirty, so I'll go ahead and swap over to the one they have to at least use it. And then it says to go ahead and do both of them, and then once it dries, go ahead and use the other lens sealing wipe. So yeah, I'm basically gonna use this one on that headlight and that headlight at the same time, and then once it dries, we go ahead and use this one right here. And let's see the instructions on this one. All right, it says after the base coat wipe has been dried, immediately follow with this one using the plastic glove again. It says to coat the lenses with an even back and forth motion. This will be dried and will be cured in 24 hours, and then it can be driven immediately after application. So it seems pretty straightforward, so I'll go ahead and start. Okay, so here we have the wipe. You can tell that it is moist, so I'll go ahead and try to do this as quickly as I can while filming it, but I don't know if I'll be able to keep it aligned, because I'll try to pay more attention to make sure I do this correct. So as usual, I always find it difficult having to use these wipes on there. A lot of times I do get streaks or parts where I try to go back to, and sometimes that kind of like messes with the clear coat that has already been laid on there. But as of right now, it doesn't look too bad. It's looking better than how it was, that's for sure. So there's that one right there, and then here's this one right here. I just want to go ahead and take a look at it to make sure there isn't any spots where it's running or anything like that. There does seem to be a line right there, but I think it's too late now. It's already starting to dry. I don't want to keep on messing with it. And then having it look worse than it is now, which is not that it looks bad at all. I'm just saying I don't want to ruin it for trying to make it look perfect, which is hard with these wipes. And also considering that it's the second time that I even do this. So I'm saying that it's not turning out that bad. So now I'll give it a few minutes and then go ahead and go with the sealing wipes over everything as well. Alright, so it looks like the base coat is pretty much dry, so now I'll go ahead and use this lens sealing wipes to go ahead and finish it. Alright, so I'll be honest, I don't know if I waited too little bit of time before the base coat and the sealing wipes, because now that I've gone ahead and put the sealing wipes, there are some streaks kind of looking on there, and as I was moving it over, it kind of felt like a bit like tacky, a bit sticky as I was trying to glide the sealing wipe over. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. I'm sure the camera is kind of picking up some of those lines. It still isn't dry, so I'm hoping once it actually dries, it won't look like that. And then if it does, I might have to go ahead and kind of do this again and then leave a little bit more time between the first wipe and the second wipe. On the instructions, it said just to wait until it's dry, and it looked dry to me, which is why I went ahead and put the other wipe on. And like I said, I mean, once it finishes drying, hopefully it does look a little bit more leveled. And this one too, it does have a little bit of stripes. You can't really even tell them that much on either of them. I mean, once you're paying attention onto it, that's when you kind of start noticing. And I didn't see any runs either, which is why I also thought that it was ready to be for the second wipe, which was the sealant wipe to be applied. But I mean, I guess right now I'll just go ahead and wait a little bit longer once this one's dry to see how they turn, and then basically just see in the long run how, if they turned hazy pretty quick, it might mean I messed up somewhere in the process. I mean, it was pretty simple process, so I think if anywhere that I messed up, it was that I didn't give enough time. But as of right now, I mean, it's too early to even know if that's right or if I did do everything right. But yeah, as of right now, it's basically just going ahead and wait, and then I will get back to you guys once it is dry so we can finally see how it's going to turn out. Honestly, I say that if it stays like this, it's still way better than how it was when I purchased the car. The haziness and all of that looks way more worse and is a lot more noticeable than how it is right now. So I'll say this is a win, and honestly, for the price that it is, it's not bad. It was like $8 less than the 3M Ultra, and it actually took a little bit less time too. So this process did, for me, it was a bit quicker, maybe because I've done it once, but it did seem to kind of require some less steps too. But yeah, guys, I'll go ahead and check in with you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so it's been about a week, and I'll be honest, I've been a bit confused. I've been coming down here and checking on the headlight periodically, and for some reason the wipe wasn't drying, the solution on the wipe wasn't drying, so every time I would kind of touch one of the edges, I could see that the lens wipe would still be actually liquid, and I would be able to rub it off with my finger. Well, today I finally caved in and I just grabbed a paper towel and basically just wiped over some of the excess, and it honestly still looks good. So I'm guessing some of it actually stuck onto the lens of the car, and I was just taking off some of the excess because the paper towel that I used didn't come out drenched with all of it. So I'm guessing some of it had dried off and the top just hadn't. So I mean, as of right now, the headlights look good. They look way better than how they were. There's that one there. And there is this one here as well. And I went ahead and took a look at the box. I've been doing this in my garage, and it's actually been kind of cold. When I do this, it's been around in the 40 degrees. I didn't see anywhere on the box that it says that there is a temperature it recommends putting this on. I'm pretty sure the warmer it is, the better. But it didn't recommend a certain temperature range. So basically what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just drive the car like this and see how long the headlight restoration holds up. But like I said, they look way better than how they were before, so I really don't have any doubt that they'll actually hold up for quite a little bit of time. And honestly, there's still some of the compound to go ahead and buff it in if I need to. So I'll just go ahead and do that if it ever gets a little bit hazy. But yeah guys, I guess you could say this was kind of a tutorial on how to use this turtle wax headlight lens restorer. I'm not sure if I did this completely correct, but as you guys can see, the outcome didn't turn out that horrible, so I must have done something kind of correct. But yeah, guys, if you guys like this video, please go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Repeat after me. Hakuna Matata.